intro of all time this week, I would assume. I mean, by the way you were dancing, but what I was singing before we started.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight.
Yep.
Father's Day weekend, so shout out, happy Father's Day to my dad, to my girlfriend's dad as well. I took him golfing.
Glorious.
A couple of my friends, one of my friends went, but, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
And you as well.
Thank you very much.
Number uno for
Number
you?
one. It was awesome. I got a nice little pin. I should have wore it today. It said Dad. It was awesome. Good Father's Day. I got to watch some of the Phillies game with my dad. So Dwight.
Yep. It's hot.
It's hot. And
fuck.
we last night watched the WWE pay-per-view together, so that was pretty fun. That was a good time.
Yep.
That was even the pay-per-view itself was good and entertaining, but like
for a June pay-per-view.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But it was cool. It was cool to kick it with you. This will be week number 2 in the daylight, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, right. It's weird. We're used to doing this.
Yeah.
It's dark as shit and different.
So Dwight.
What's up?
Once every 4 years, the world gathers for the world's biggest sport. Well, the world's most popular sport, at least.
Super Bowl?
Soccer.
Wrestling. Oh.
The World Cup. Football in other countries.
Yep. Team USA in it?
We talked about that last week. Dwight, keep up.
They're still not in it? Still not in it?
No.
I was just checking if they were in it yet.
But it is coming to America in 8 years, so we talked about how we hope they are better by then, and their young players will be 28 around, 26 to 28 to under 30, most of their best young players, who just tied France in a friendly a couple weeks ago.
That means you suck and you didn't make the tournament.
Well, France made the tournament. We were just playing them in a friendly. It was a pre-game for France. Anyways, we didn't make the tournament.
To go to the tournament. All right, got it. So we going to the World Cup in 8 years?
Yes, for sure. Team turn-up will be there. That'll be very fun.
It's going to be ridiculous.
We're going to be old.
I did the math already. I was kind of...
We're going to be old. It's okay.
We're going to be those 2 old dudes.
That's okay.
Drunk at the fucking...
But hopefully
company's
company's
have an
paying...
8-year-old by then. You realize that?
Yeah, hopefully a company's paying for us to go to these things.
Oh, true story.
So...
You're not an 8-year-old, bro.
Yeah. Hopefully he's into soccer.
Shit.
The World Cup did come in 1994, but I was 3, and I didn't watch soccer.
Right.
So...
And I actually looked at the list. They're actually going all throughout the U.S., bro. There's no reason why we should.
Oh, they're going to be
going to New York,
in driving range 3 times.
Washington.
And Boston is a train ride, a day and a half. Like, it's only, 4 hours on a train, 3 hours on a train. Like, we legitimately have 5 or 6 places that we could do in a day.
2 hours.
In a day.
3 hours.
Yeah. And we could all get by train as well, so we wouldn't have to drive to anywhere. Yeah, I've already thought of all of this, my man. This is going to be...
I've seen the map.
You and I are
actually a legit map that
placed
every single one.
If we can do it, my plan is to go to, a couple. And for the final, we're not going to go in, but they set up really big screens outside the stadium, and everyone just tailgates. So I just want to go and tailgate, man. For the final, we'll just go. It's in New Jersey.
Expensive as shit.
To tailgate? No, we're just going
to get in the motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't want to go in it. Yeah, well, all we'll do is we'll be just outside. We'll bring some lawn chairs or something. We'll sit and watch the big screen. We'll bring some styrofoam coolers.
Be old as shit with an 8-year-old.
Getting drunk. Yeah, that's fine.
That's wild.
It's going to be great.
It's wild. I'm in.
So, the World Cup this year. Russia started off 5-0.
Of course they did.
Saudi Arabia is who they beat. That was the first game. The next day, things ramped up. On Friday, Portugal played Spain. Spain is a good team, a very talented team. Fired their coach 3 days, though, before the World Cup started.
Pineapples.
So they call it, he got sacked is what they call it. That's firing in America. Look.
Got sacked. For what?
To be honest with you, and this is kind of the part of soccer that I hate to always shine the light on. it's a dark, weird political place, and there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. Not exactly sure what happened. All I know is he signed a contract to be the Real Madrid head coach after the tournament, starting after the tournament. But I guess Spain, the country, which Real Madrid is in Spain,
Right.
They're mainly run, I'm pretty sure, by Barcelona people, and Barcelona is the rival of Madrid, which I'm a Barcelona fan. And as a Barcelona fan, I was even kind of confused and shocked because I don't root for Spain, but I do like to see Spain do good because Spain has a lot of Barcelona players. But because they have a lot of Barcelona players and they're run by a big Barcelona group, they did not want the enemies, like the legitimate Yankees versus Red Sox head coach, the enemy's head coach, basically infiltrating into your team.
So let me get this straight. So he's not coaching a single World Cup game.
There was a fight, right? Like there was a fight in practice. And apparently he was part of it, and it was Barcelona versus Real Madrid players. And basically because he was part of this fight, they were like, look, we can't have him around.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
The biggest games of his life. I mean, look, Real Madrid is as big as you can get when it comes to soccer outside of international play. But international play is like, I mean, the World Cup is it. This is
the time.
This
you
is
got your team there.
This
so
is bigger than the NBA Finals to them. You know.
Yeah. I get that.
And they are ready, like, he's going to coach a team that is going to basically be on the level of the NBA Finals every game they play.
Right.
But he was about to coach in a World Cup, which the whole world sees.
Which is what people really care about. And he brought an entire country into the World Cup. The USA didn't get there.
Right. And so he gets fired.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
But they're still really talented. People still were actually thinking that they could win a couple games. Portugal's not good, but Portugal has Real Madrid's best player, who is a top 2 player in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, something started a couple weeks ago where Barcelona basically swept the table for everything that they've done except for the Champions League this year. So they won. They go for 5 trophies. They won 4 of the trophies this year, right? Real Madrid's in all 5 of those leagues. So everyone was talking about how, and they won the El Clasico, and the second one they tied in the first one. So basically, Barcelona owned Real Madrid this year for the first time in a little while. And everyone was talking about how Messi's the best player in the world. You know how we do this in America with LeBron James and other players. But everyone was talking about how Messi's the best player in the world. And Ronaldo, playing on not a good Portugal team, against Spain, came out, scored 3 goals, tied them 3-3. His team was up 2-1 at halftime. They went down 3-2. He scored in the 88th minute on a free kick. It was an impressive kick. It was from probably about 30, 40 yards out. It was sick. He scored a penalty kick as well. The next day, Lionel Messi, my favorite soccer player, plays for Argentina, had a penalty kick blocked, had a late free kick that could have won the game, didn't go that well, and his team tied, and everyone expected Argentina to win. Now, against Iceland, and this was Iceland's first ever World Cup game. Now, I will say,
against fucking Iceland, really?
Both teams got a tie.
It's a damn shame.
Ronaldo, of course, against a better competition, 3 goals, and to get a tie with his team, I'm not going to disagree. That was way more impressive, 110%. But everyone, like, kind of overreacted at the end, like Messi, like, oh, well, like, this is over, like, Ronaldo's the best player in the world. And I'm not even saying one is better, one is not, because I will be honest, I love Messi. I watch these 2 players because I watch Barcelona games and they both play in the same league. I don't watch enough of the rest of the world soccer to literally tell you the next 5 players that are ranked in the world. So I'm not even going to sit here and tell you who is better. I can't tell you who the best player in the world is right now. But what I can tell you is 4 years ago, Messi drug an Argentina team that is no better than the Portugal team to the World Cup final and lost to Germany. Portugal didn't go near that far, and so I just to base this on one game, you know what I'm saying? Like as a bystander, I don't know if that makes sense. I think I think that right now Ronaldo's playing at the top of his game, and I've seen Messi do really impressive things, but what Ronaldo has done the last 2 or 3 years has been off the chain. And I always say Messi is a Hummer and Ronaldo is a Ferrari. Ronaldo goes like this. Messi can go like this, but Messi can just lay you down as well and get to the goal if he has to. Did not do that. Iceland, by the way, just played a really good defense in that game. That is what they are built on. They are not built to score. They scored 1 goal. It was 4 minutes after. Argentina, outside of Messi, and that's another thing. Every time I watch Argentina games, Barcelona does a good job playing through Messi. Like the ball goes through Messi. Argentina is stuck between trying to play through Messi and play with Messi, and that comes in time. And they only get to play 3 or 4 games before the World Cup. So in the World Cup, especially the first games, some of these players never playing before. The nerves, everything's different. I'm not saying it's a pass because Messi had a golden opportunity.
Sounds like you're giving it a pass.
He scores, I would say, 8 of 10 of the penalty kicks. He just didn't score that one. It was a great save by the goalie. I'm not giving.
I'm gonna say that's all on you. That's all on his skill.
I'm not giving it a pass on Messi. Look, like I said, if we are basing this, yeah, for sure. I'm saying over the last couple of years, I have seen Ronaldo, I think, step it up one notch over Messi, but Messi has been just as dominant at times. So I'm not like that's what I meant, like in that who's the greatest player race. But I'm not going to base it off of just what they did in the one games because I have seen literally Messi drag a team to the World Cup final, which this is the biggest stage. This is that's a LeBron dragging a bad Cavs team to the finals.
Doesn't excuse it, bro.
I'm not saying it excuses one game. I'm just they also tied. They didn't lose as well. So at the end of the day,
tie's a loss, homie.
But it was a win for Portugal. It's the tie for Portugal to tie Spain was a win because all you're looking to do at this right now at this stage is to get out of group play. Argentina has their toughest test in their group in Croatia on Thursday. I'm going to say they basically have to tie or win that game or else they're not going to get out of their group play. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they win it, they put themselves in really good position to get out because Croatia, I mean, then it comes down to Iceland and Croatia. I do think there was bigger news the next day, which this was the craziest part. So Brazil ties the next day in a game that people didn't think they would tie in. And Germany flat out lost to Mexico 1-0. Mexico is the first CONCACAF team that's basically a North America. I mean, they call it the CONCACAF because it's not more North America. They're in Mexico, Puerto Rico, America, Canada, like the countries up here that all play in the little group. They're the first team from our little group to beat Germany in a World Cup game. Germany is the odds-on favorite. They are the flat-out best, most talented team. They're basically they took an L to Mexico, who was basically never. I don't know if I've ever seen them get out of group in my lifetime. So
that's pretty embarrassing.
They've only been to the World Cup, I think, 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, maybe
1-0?
twice in my lifetime. Yeah, they won 1-0. They scored on a pretty cool goal. It was a nice game. It was a nice goal.
That's terrible.
So Brazil tying, Argentina tying, Portugal and Spain tying, Germany losing. First games of the round play. Crazy, upside down, interesting, fun. But at the end of the day, it's only game 1, and they all got 3 more games to correct themselves.
Which is what, this week? All this week?
Well, yeah, it starts, I think the second game starts Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then it goes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the next teams. And then starting the next Saturday is the group of 16, which that's a one game and you're out.
Yeah, I looked up the schedule earlier, actually. I didn't realize this shit literally runs through all of July. Too.
It's fun, like, man. Damn. It's because, and that's what I love about this. There's so many teams now, and when they come to America, they're adding 8 more teams. Right now, there's 32 teams. Right when they come to America, it'll be because they voted on this about 8 years ago. They said the 26 World Cup, whatever it is, whatever the World Cup is going to be in America. Yeah, but they said even before it was in America, they said that they were going to take that World Cup, that year's World Cup, and take it from 32 to 40.
Why? We need 8 more garbage teams. I hear you.
Money.
I hear you.
For the people listening on SoundCloud, I put up my hand like the Money Man's all thing because, to be honest with you, because it grew about 3.
Wait, time out. You put up your what thing?
The Money Man's album when he did the money.
You get on my. I know exactly. I just had to make sure you said it a second time because. Continue.
I would say about 3 World Cups ago, when I started watching about 3 World Cups ago, my cousin was telling me somewhere between the time that he was in his teens to about that time, he noticed a decent rise. But he was telling me that he thought in the next 10 years, which is basically about now. That I guess it would have been probably about 3 or 4 years ago, but honestly, he said he thought that soccer, as long as America kept getting into the World Cup, would be pretty decently big. The last World Cups, I think he was right about the last World Cup.
The last World Cup was huge for us.
I'm not going to lie.
Then what happened?
We didn't make it. I have friends that have been to other countries in the World Cup, and I used to think what we did in the last World Cup was a success. Like, we had Central Park. Remember Central Park in New York had the big screens everywhere, and it was shut down, and it was a bunch of soccer fans. And they did it up in Chicago, and they did it in Dallas, and they did it in Philly, and they did it in L.A., and they did it. All the major cities had big screens in their parks, right? So, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. Like, we've made so much progress. But then I had somebody tell me that they were in Germany about 20 years ago for a World Cup, and no one had work that day. The bars were the only thing open. People were literally bringing their kitchen tables out on their streets. They were eating bread. They were drinking all day long. There was screens up on the... No. What I'm saying is that we didn't make near the
story going.
We didn't make near the progress that other countries are doing.
Because guess what we're all doing right now? We're not giving a shit about the
World Cup.
We're
300 years behind everybody on this. And then...
And we don't give a shit
and then America 4 years later goes and misses it.
Right.
So,
and how many are we watching it? No, we're not.
His exact words,
we're not watching.
To me, were years ago.
Unless we're relevant, we don't give a shit.
He said America has to continue to make the World Cup. They didn't, and he was like, so obviously, and I'm going to talk to him about it this weekend actually because I'm going to see him about how he feels about that now. But at the same, I think that
there's nothing at the same time. At the same time, we don't give a shit.
There's more soccer diehard fans, and the younger generation.
I disagree.
I think the high school generation to the 8-10-year-olds, man, it is so big. It's a fast sport. It's compact. It's done within 2 hours. The only commercial breaks are literally during the halftime where you don't have to pay attention. It's only a 15-minute halftime, not even, which flies by.
I 1,000% disagree. 4 years ago,
FIFA is the biggest game in the world, and it's the second biggest game in America behind 2K.
Okay.
2K is the biggest sports game in America. I'm not saying video game because I don't know about the rest of it, but sports games.
I don't think in America.
I meant sports game. Sports games.
I'm listening to you. I don't think FIFA is the biggest or second biggest sports game in America.
It was 2K, FIFA, and then I think it was Madden last year.
I highly doubt that, but
the only reason I know this is because I was looking the soccer stuff up. Well, not looking it up. I saw a debate about it, and then they were showing the stats.
Regardless, I 1,000% disagree with you for the sole reason. If this was 4 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, all in. Yeah, it's on the rise. Now, no. We're 4 years removed from that. We're 4 years older. We got a new generation, and America is shit again. And who knows? We might be shit 8 years from now.
I don't think
there's a whole nother.
Listen,
there's a whole nother. There's been 4 years. That's a whole nother generation that has now come forth and now is not paying attention to soccer because we did not do well. We did not make the tournament. And that is huge. And had this continued, had this been a second year, I'd have been with you. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the 16-year-olds are 20 now. So the 16-year-olds then that probably were going crazy about it that are 20. Yeah, I'm going to
give a shit.
I will give you that most of them probably lost interest. I understand.
And you got to look at even younger from that now because now we're 4 years ahead. And then we're going to have another 8 now.
The one good thing I can say...
I don't think the younger generation is going to care
about
soccer.
And I guess this is 100% because we are an American show, and we were talking about the World Cup, and it went right back to American soccer. But the one thing I can say about America... I hear you, but the one thing I can say about American soccer is they did start putting money into the... Once they missed it, right away, they started to focus on trying to make that program better. And they have got the youngest, the best, most talented. They stopped going right from the MLS. They're starting to travel and dip players from the rest of the world. Peru got into the World Cup for the first, Panama got into the World Cup for the first time ever this year. And it's because for the first time ever, they just didn't take players off their own island. They took players that were from Panama that were playing in Germany, players from Panama that were playing in Europe in the B leagues. You didn't have to even be A-League players. No, they found the A-League players and got them to come play as well, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. But what they used to do is just get guys off the island and try to make them play together for 4 years, and that was their country team. They've now decided to do what the rest of the world does, and America is finally doing that as well. So,
I'm still shaking my head. We can get into the politics of of sports all you want to, but let me ask you a real question, though. How many kids do you really believe look at soccer as an outlet, look at it as an out or a means of getting out of their actual situations? Kids don't look at soccer that way in America. They look at basketball, maybe to a lesser extent football at this point, but they still look at football that way. It's more so those two sports that they look at as their out as far as sports goes. I still don't think that today that No, kids aren't.
I know.
You don't know too many damn kids that are like, man, I really want to play soccer.
I know.
Yes, it does happen. But
I have one friend who his good friend plays over in Europe. I have another friend who played in Europe for a little while. I have another friend who she went to soccer on scholarship for.
So 3 out of these 4 you've now said they've gone to Europe. Okay, continue.
She went to college for soccer, and I know another one of my friends. His kids is actually pretty good at soccer, but he's only in probably 9th grade. So he would like to go to college for soccer, but it's so young, it's hard to tell. He's good, but I mean, who knows what he's going to be in 2 or 3 years? That's obvious.
Every 1 out of 4 people. Okay.
Oh no! I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I do. There is something there for it. I do, like. I know more players, but I know more people who have. I know more people who have gotten out of soccer athletic scholarships or money than I do baseball.
No, it's probably easier.
Or basketball. Well, I don't know about easier, but there's more outlets. So yeah, I guess easier in that. But
it's easier because nobody's going for it.
But that's my thing. Is that so? I mean, it's there. There's people. It's just it's bigger than it was when we were kids.
Sure, but it's still nothing. In the grand scheme of basketball and football, like American football, it's still nothing in that regard. Like I said, hey, like 4 years ago, I'd have been all in and saying, yeah, this is growing, this is growing, this is growing. But in the 4 years since, not even just because we've sucked, but that momentum has really halted. I think it's ridiculous to even try to say that it hasn't, honestly. Just look at, we don't have to go to the damn kids. Don't go to the damn, fuck Messi. We don't have to go to the damn kids.
I think like the top 5 players in the world are still pretty popular in America for the kids.
Do you know any 10-year-olds that really? Oh man, Messi though. Did you see Messi?
About 50, yeah, I know.
They talk about LeBron. They talk about Curry, Durant.
No, but that generation, there's a lot of Messi jerseys running around. Dwight, I'm a huge Messi fan. I see a lot of Messi and Ronaldo jerseys running around.
I don't know where you be looking at, dude.
I see a Barcelona jersey at least once a week. Maybe not with a name on the back, but I see a Messi one at least once a month. I'll start texting.
Okay, so how many LeBron jerseys do you see once in a month?
Probably almost about the same, maybe a little more. Probably more.
Of course, it's more. Of course, you see more LeBron.
But I'm not saying I'm not saying that it's more popular than the NBA. I'm just saying that it's popular. I'm saying I think it's more popular than what you think it is. I'm not saying it's as popular as the NBA.
All right, you are taking what I'm saying too closely. I'm not saying that it's completely irrelevant. Okay. I'm just saying, because you're making it sound like that there's really an audience here in America, especially for younger kids. And I'm saying it's not as big as what you're making it out to be right now. I'm not saying, look, I don't say that there isn't an audience at all. But I also am not saying that, oh man, it's such a big... No, it's not. It's not. It's not. You see kids wearing football jerseys and basketball jerseys. Occasionally, fine. Maybe you get a Messi jersey. I can't tell you the last time I saw anybody other than...
We are also
somebody our age that was wearing a soccer jersey.
We are also the richest and have we are the richest and we have the most population of rich people, and the World Cup for probably about 20 years has been dominant. The most ticket sales have gone to Americans. Like, let me put it that way. Like and again, the numbers are on the rise. The Americans and ticket sales they're the highest. But they have been, like I said, for every World Cup for the last 20 years.
Okay. That's what's up, I guess. The rich is going to watch soccer, but the kids aren't, which is exactly my point. Kids don't give a shit about soccer.
I'm excited how the first week worked out. It's coming to an end fairly soon. The second games will be played here within the week or so. So, and that, like I said, all those teams that I named earlier, Argentina, Spain, Portugal.
Who'd you pick last week?
I picked Brazil and they tied. So Brazil.
Okay.
All of them have 2 games for redemption, and I'm excited. I think they all will. I think most of them. I can't really tell you which one I don't think it's on track. I'm intrigued to see what Messi and Argentina do against Croatia. And Brazil, they obviously have to turn around. Spain, we talked about how they had their misfortune with their coach. So we're gonna see what happens. And the storylines are great. It's part of the fun with the World Cup. Speaking of storylines, let's knock the weaker one out of the way with the NBA. We got 2 NBA topics to talk about.
What's the weaker one?
One, Dwight has very little interest or knowledge about.
Or care, and neither does Jared, as much as he's going to want to try to pretend that he does. Because he's finally on Dwight's level?
So it's not even that because you're right. It's the interest isn't there.
Why?
But the knowledge is there. Because I know a lot of the players in the draft, and I was like, whoa, man, I'm actually... When I realized that it was this week, I kind of got excited because I know, like, the names.
Of the NBA draft.
And I'm excited to see where the players are going.
No, you don't really care.
This is not anywhere near the countdowns that I used to have.
Well, why is that, Jared?
Because the Sixers are looking to get Kawhi, LeBron, or Paul George.
So you're on my level now, which is fuck the NBA draft.
Did you know Seth Curry's a free agent?
Yeah, I told you.
You told me.
And I don't care. So you're on my level as far as the draft is irrelevant.
He's the fourth best free agent.
Fuck him.
He's the fourth best free agent.
But you care more about free agency now? Because that's where the money is when you're actually a good team and trying to compete.
I want Bridges from Villanova.
No, you don't.
With
you don't
the
care.
with the 10th pick.
No, you don't.
Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome.
You don't care. But you want LeBron or Kawhi more.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm glad after 3 years of doing this shit that you finally understand how much the NBA draft is irrelevant when you have a good team that
who you taking
goes
first?
For free agency.
Ayton or Doncic?
I have no clue who those are and don't care.
Okay, so Ayton played at Arizona.
Okay.
The Suns have the first pick, so
Great.
This makes sense.
Great.
But they hired a head coach from, I think it was Czechoslovakia, because
even better.
Doncic played in Czechoslovakia. Guess who his coach was? The Suns' new head coach. But guess who has the second pick? Dwight.
You just said about 3 times.
Dwight, guess who has the second pick?
I don't care.
The Kings. Guess who the Kings' GM is?
Vlade Divac.
He's an owner.
Oh.
Doncic's GM over in Czechoslovakia last year. What?
He's trying so hard to pretend that he gives a shit about the draft this year when he doesn't.
They both, Ayton and him both have the same agent.
He just can't admit that he doesn't care about the draft anymore. Because
You would assume
for the past 3 years I've been right, and he's finally there with me. He finally has a team that's half respectable and doesn't need to worry about drafts anymore. But he just can't. He can't admit it. He just refuses to. But go ahead, continue. Pretend that you. Please continue to care.
I would assume Ayton's going to want to play in Arizona, right? Going to stay home, sell some jerseys.
Great.
Hoop it up in the sun. Not that Sacramento isn't a great place, but they have no ever potential to turn around because Shaq still owns them. Get it? Mo Bamba? Mo Bamba. He'll be top 5.
Isn't that a Shaggy song? Not a Spoombastic, my bad.
Porter Jr., they're saying Trae Young, the player of the year, the guy who was averaging double-double, a ton of points, was breaking some records early in the year. They're saying he's going to be the 9th pick-ish. ESPN is saying that to the Knicks. Now, on to things Dwight cares about.
And Jared Hood. Keep fronting, bro. I know the truth.
I know these players, so I'm not going to sit and watch the draft, but I'll be excited to see where they go.
Wait, what'd you just say?
I didn't watch it the last 2 years. Since Embiid's been drafted, I haven't watched it.
No, why? Because y'all actually have a decent little thing going on. And you can worry about getting real players.
They had the number 1 pick last year and I didn't watch it. I knew they were getting pulled, so.
That's the NBA draft coverage on JD Sports.
The day the NBA Finals ended, 2 days later,
Yep.
It ended on a Friday.
Yep.
So Monday was the parade.
Yep.
Tuesday of last week, digested. Wednesday of last week, big news.
What's that?
Kawhi Leonard,
Yep.
who a week or 2 prior, I read reports that him and Popovich were talking, negotiating a little extension, and I was like, all right, that's interesting. But apparently, his camp wanted every news outlet you can think of to let the world know that he wants out. And mainly that he wants to go to LA, not caring if it's the Clippers or the Lakers. Mainly he wants the Lakers. He said he circled the Lakers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard nothing about him giving a damn about the Clippers. I don't know what that meant.
It said anywhere in LA is what I read. But Lakers are the number 1 report. Without question, as that should be the number 1 report.
Only team in LA.
So we talked about Kawhi, and they said that on the 3rd team. Now I read the 3rd team is the Knicks. So does he just want to be in a big city? The thing I've read, see, here's the weird thing. Kawhi, quiet, drives a 2008 Suburban and eats McDonald's, and like he's just like
Okay, so
he's just like the I don't want to be the face, I don't want to be in the limelight guy, but then he wants to go to LA or New York. I mean,
he's
that's,
from LA.
I understand that, but that's the limelight area. I mean,
He's from LA and he loves the Lakers.
that's the flashy. I get that,
he
but
grew
that's
up a Lakers fan.
that. But he,
What are you not understanding?
I understand, but But you, for him to say, for him to be the one want to be the quiet guy, and then his
Spurs,
other.
okay, that's. It's not fair to say he's the quiet guy. The Spurs are the quiet ass team. So is that him or is that by design? Because the Spurs are a quiet ass team. They've been a quiet ass team for 15 years. What you mean?
Is he the first domino?
Yeah. Obviously, he's not happy. He hasn't been happy all year. We've already been established that.
But he gets traded. LeBron goes there. Paul George goes there.
No. Why? Why is
I'm
that?
just
a thing?
asking.
Why is that? I don't understand why everybody keeps going to that. Like, Kawhi's the first one, and then clearly LeBron's following no matter where he goes, and clearly Paul George is following. And
So-
because Kawhi wants to go to the Lakers, that means the other two then are going to the Lakers. But I was like, wait, why? Why? Just because this is NBA 2K and we're doing a fantasy draft. That's why everybody's saying that.
When you look at
It's not
the
happening. Lakers potentially get one. They're not getting two. They're damn sure not getting all three.
the only way they can get Kawhi is by bringing a third team in. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the Spurs want. I don't know what the situation is.
I can't imagine the Spurs want a late 20s pick and Brandon Ingram or Lonzo Ball. I mean, I just don't.
They don't want Lonzo Ball.
All right, but Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma in the 25th pick. Is that is that enough?
I don't know. I don't take that trade.
I was gonna say, if you're the Spurs,
No.
is that enough? Or are you laughing?
I'm laughing my ass off.
Is there anything as a Lakers fan that you think that any team would want to give up or want to take back in return for Kawhi? That's why I was saying,
I don't know.
and that's why I said bring a third team in. Even future picks, because if you give Kawhi to anybody, future picks for Kawhi just turn into playoff picks, not lottery picks.
At this point, if the Spurs are really going to end up trading him, they're losing this trade regardless of who's involved and what teams are involved.
Agreed. I
They're
just don't
losing
see
this.
them losing it that bad. Do you?
Yeah, why not? That's history. History says that you're always going to lose and you're always going to lose that better.
It's popular.
What just happened? It's a good Kyrie situation.
Yeah, I hear you, and it's garbage. Now, I looked at it the other way because everyone, as a Sixers fan, obviously you have to. Every team in the league is saying, "What do we have to trade?" I don't even know
Y'all
if
don't have anything either.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. I don't know if a package of Dario and Fultz and our first round pick this year is enough for Kawhi either, because that sounds silly to me as well.
Sounds
I don't know if the Knicks have. What do the Knicks? So you're gonna have
Porzingis,
to have
the end.
Then they're not trading. You're not trading Porzingis if you're trying to get Kawhi. I mean, I guess you could. So the team that makes the most sense is Boston.
Sure. It's because they have a lot of shit. But I don't see them going for it. They just got Gordon Hayward. They're not going to go after Kawhi.
I don't know how Popovich works, but I know a lot of teams in the NBA try not to trade their superstar in conference.
Right, and the Lakers historically have been a rival of the Spurs, so
right.
That's kind of funny to me as well.
I just don't see Popovich helping the Lakers out.
No.
But at the same time, if you know Kawhi's not going to play for you again, he's not going to come back, and you want to just get something out of it, then even trading him to the Lakers, what's the difference if he goes to the Lakers on his own?
Basically, I don't know. Does Pop like Brandon Ingram? Does he like adding a third team to get something better? Than
You have to,
Ingram?
and that's you have to.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else you
anybody.
get.
I think anybody but Boston has to add a third team.
You're going to get a whole lot of nothing if you're the Spurs, but it's better to get a whole lot of nothing
than absolutely nothing.
Right. I'm not mad.
But you got to think that LeBron James and Paul George are trying to figure out, all right, where can everyone go to compete with Golden State? Like, if you're Paul George, you got to be thinking in your head, where can I go to compete with Golden State? And you have a golden opportunity in your hand to talk to LeBron James to say, all right, where do you want to go? Where do you think the best options are? LeBron James as well has the golden opportunity to talk to different teams or to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And that's why I say the LA thing, because but the never say never thing on me is I didn't think Chris Bosh could be added to that Heat team, and it turned out to happen. I don't think it's the best idea, and I still don't think LeBron's going west. I'm just saying,
One, he's not going out west. Two, honestly, I think the market for Paul George kind of fell back a little bit this year. I ain't gonna lie.
But I think Paul George as your third option is still really good. I don't
Sure.
think he's a great 2 option or a 1 option. I think,
He could
but
be
if
a 2.
he's better than Chris Paul is the third option, yeah, or as good.
Yeah, but I still think that
He has shrunk in the
his
big-
market has definitely
He's
declined.
shrunk in the big time. I do agree. He has shrunk in the big time consistently.
I can't see the Lakers really striving to push for him per se at this point. Just the way that he collapsed.
The pressure's also on Magic though to strive to get somebody,
Sure,
and there's
sure.
only
And I
3
said,
guys
like,
out there.
And I said this year, I said
You gotta
coming
get
into
one.
this offseason, I said he's got to get one, or we got some questions. This is the time to
Right.
get one. And even if it's, let's say he just gets Kawhi and Kawhi only, that's a success. Cool. I won't be mad at that. Then you go to next year and you get the next piece, and you still got that young core there. I wouldn't be mad at that. But he's definitely got to add somebody. He doesn't have to add 2. He doesn't have to have all 3. Which again, we're not playing fantasy basketball here.
Right, I
don't
understand,
think
and
that's
I'm
gonna
just
happen.
saying it's possible. I'm just saying
That's
that
not possible.
But
you know why it's not possible?
players control the league.
People need to stop pretending that the Lakers have so many damn young pieces. Or are we abandoning that now?
Yeah, that's what you would do in that
We're getting rid of
situation.
Lonzo. We're getting rid of Randall.
No, you could
Ingram,
you could get rid
Kuzma,
of Randall.
all of them. We're getting rid of all of them.
No,
now?
you just get rid of Randall. But you could. Why couldn't you get the other? Why couldn't you get LeBron,
There's no way.
Kuzma, Lonzo, Kawhi?
Zero chance.
Why?
Because there's zero chance of that happening. In a realistic world, there's no way that's happening.
I thought the same with the Heat, man, and it happened. I was as
the
convinced
Heat
as
did
you
not,
are.
The Heat did not have the young talent.
I'm not saying
that
it
the
even
Lakers
happened.
do have now. The Lakers built themselves on being in this situation of having these young studs that they claim is going to be the future,
Look,
and
the Lakers
another
are
piece or 2, but they're not.
Not this year away. They're the year after. Like that's the year that they would be to have themselves at the competitive opportunity fighting with the Spurs and the Rockets and all those teams. I would say I don't think that next year. I don't think in this calendar year they're going to do it. I think the year after is where they make that leap. Even if they get one of these guys, unless they get all 3.
That team, that's I don't even like that team. Even on paper, that sounds like a horrible team. You got an overrated Paul George. You got old LeBron. You got
Good Kawhi,
great Kawhi.
Lonzo.
I don't like that team.
Kyle Kuzma,
That's such a name
Ingram.
fantasy basketball situation where people are like, well, just add them all together and see what happens. That's not. No, that sounds horrible to me. It sounds maybe the 4th seed. Maybe we get out the first round.
And so that's the other side of it for me is even if they get one. So you're saying go after one. My thing is
Go
if you
after
get
Kawhi.
if you get Kawhi, I mean
That's a success.
you're not beating Golden State next year though.
What did I just say? It's a success, and that's a building block. And it's more realistic than I don't want old man LeBron. I don't go away, LeBron. Go even Paul George, because he collapsed. If Paul George did collapse, then cool. Go after Kawhi and.
But see, I think
Paul
the
George.
most realistic is Paul George and Kawhi
Sure, definitely,
in LA together.
definitely over the LeBron thing.
But
yeah,
that leaves
1000%.
LeBron going to basically Houston, the Celtics, or Philly. I mean, there's really nowhere else he could go
Right. Look, I've
to
said
compete
Yeah,
unless Golden State.
and I've said since the jump, I don't think he's going to the Lakers.
I never really thought the Lakers were realistic. I kind of fell into it for a little bit, but I kind of backed out of it. I'm not saying it's
Now you're
possible.
kind of back into it.
No. I'm throwing the possibility out there. Look, I still think LeBron stays East. My money is still LeBron doesn't go out there. I'm just trying to throw out scenarios. I'm trying to sell you on the idea of it because the understanding for me was going into that Miami year, there was no way they was doing it. Because the understanding for me was there was no way Golden State was going to figure out a way to get Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like here we are at a point where I'm never going to say never when it comes to the NBA right now.
I'm so on never on that.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Other than selling tickets, I don't see any reason for Magic to go after LeBron.
Because I do think that in some people's heads that can beat Golden State. I don't think that beat Golden State. I'm not going to sit here and try. Like I said, I'm selling you on the idea because I'm trying to figure this out. At the end of the day, I don't think that combination beats Golden State as well. I'm with you.
He doesn't beat Golden State, and he's old. And so when he retires in 3 years, then where the Lakers at? Back where they're at.
But if they have Kawhi, then it don't matter.
Or you can just have Kawhi and get somebody younger and better.
See, I think Kawhi, if you get Kawhi in a combination of LeBron or Paul George, it's a super win because LeBron and Kawhi I think would be great together, and it doesn't matter if LeBron's old then because you have Kawhi.
What are you going to do with What are you going to do with 3 small forwards on a team, bro?
LeBron can play 1 through 5. You know that.
Whatever. So what are you going to do with 2 small forwards and LeBron as a power forward, which is ridiculous?
There's positionless basketball. Draymond Green is
Christ's
under
sake.
7 foot. He's not even, and he's the center.
So who's coming off the bench?
None
Paul
of them.
George is coming off the bench?
No, those
They're
three
not
are
all-
on the
no, they're
court.
not.
Why not?
Where are you putting one of them? So you got a small forward and a power forward. Who's going to be a center or a
Look,
shooting guard? What are you doing?
Let's go. Lonzo,
He's starting.
Kawhi,
Small forward.
Paul George. No, let's go Kawhi at shooting
You're
guard.
not putting him at shooting guard.
Actually, no. Let's go Kuzma or Ingram at shooting guard. Let's go Kawhi at small forward. Paul George at center or forward, and LeBron taking tip. Positionless basketball, man. Look at the Sixers this year. Look at Joel Embiid was playing at the 3-point
He's
line,
a center.
and he's twice the size of Draymond Green,
And he's a center.
and so is Draymond Green.
Draymond Green is not a center.
But he plays center. He starts as the center. He is their 5, is he not?
He's not a center.
But is he not the 5 on the best team in the NBA right now?
He's not a center.
So that's my point. So fighting it and saying that we're going to play the old dinosaur basketball isn't going to work, man. You got
Now
it.
it's the old dinosaur basketball.
Well, why can't you play positionless basketball? You're telling me that this won't work because you're telling me that I have to define a center in a different way.
I'm telling you because you got like 3 or 4 people to play the same damn position.
But
so who's coming off
positionless
the bench?
basketball means there
Who's
is no
coming off the
there is
fucking
no
bench?
position. None of them have to. They don't have to play the same position. That's my point.
You got Brandon Ingram,
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Paul George.
What?
That's
But
4 people that play the same position. Okay, so you put one of them at one spot. Like who is
three
coming
of
off
them,
the bench? Is my point.
3 of them
Who's
can
coming
play
off the
small
bench?
forward or power forward, and 2 of them can play shooting guard, and 1 of them can play center.
So to my point,
Like
for the 5th time,
legitimately,
who's
like
coming off
out
the
of
bench?
those, none of them. They can literally. I just told you, Lonzo is your 1, Ingram as your 2,
Oh, now
Kawhi
Ingram's
is your
2.
3.
Got it.
Why not?
Well, you said Kuzma was 2 the last time, so I'm just trying to.
Whoever. Ingram, Kuzma, put either of them. But I think Ingram's better than Kuzma. Kawhi 3, Paul George 4, and LeBron 5. Why not?
Okay. You just changed the roster twice. The overall point was who's coming off the bench. And
But-
now you're saying nobody is.
None of those 3. Kawhi, LeBron, and Paul George are all on starting, and Lonzo most likely starts as well, right?
And
But
it all sucks.
I'm just saying you can start you can build a roster that I'm not
It's a
doing it
terrible roster.
as a GM. I'm not putting that together. But again, it sounds pretty much like the Lakers are sold on making this attempt.
Why? Because everybody's saying that?
Magic hasn't shut it down. Magic hasn't come out once and said that's ridiculous. Magic hasn't said we're not
Of course
going
Magic's
after
not.
them.
Magic's not stupid. Of course he's not going to say that. Why would he?
So why wouldn't he go after all 3 of them?
I'm not saying he isn't, but you're literally banking on this as a thing that they clearly want to do, quote unquote, because what? Because reports are saying clearly they want to go after all 3.
Why not? To get one of them, you got to go after him. You got to shoot your shot. LeBron's got to shoot a shot at KD. KD's got to, he's probably going to turn it down. But you got to figure, like, KD's technically going to be a free agent, so someone's calling him. Paul George, Kawhi, or LeBron, right?
The Lakers are getting one of these 3,
I agree.
and it's not LeBron.
I also agree. But like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they figured out a way to get all 3 because
It's not happening.
they need to. The players are trying to figure out a way to beat Golden State right now. Teaming up with the best talent you possibly can would be the way to do that.
The Lakers aren't in the business to try to win a championship next year, so
I also agree with that, and that's why I don't
so
think it
it's not even
happens.
a conversation. No, right. Which is why they're not going after all 3. This is why they're not getting all 3. I should say. They might go after all 3, get 1. They're not getting all 3.
Right, and I think that's why they're going to go after all 3 with the hopes to get 1. I don't think they're going after all 3 with thinking they'll get all 3. I don't.
I don't think Magic wants LeBron. I really don't.
I don't know if LeBron wants to go west. Like I think
That's
you
fine.
and I have been talking about that for a while.
Forever. So why is this a conversation anywhere? Is my question.
I was just because someone has to beat Golden State, and I was just trying to brainstorm of what their best possible option is.
Philadelphia,
I agree.
Boston,
Yeah, that's pretty big juggernaut as well.
much better situations than Lakers. Houston. Again, and I've been saying this from the rip, from the jump. I don't understand why everybody thinks the Lakers is the be-all, end-all for LeBron James. It makes no sense on any level.
I don't think it's the be all
On
and all
any
for
level.
LeBron at all.
That should not be in the top 5 for him. For him. I'm speaking for him. For what reason? Let's say hypothetically the Lakers would get LeBron. It's not a guarantee they're getting anybody else. And then what does that team do?
Nothing.
It does what Kobe did his final couple years.
He just does what. Well, I think they go a little further, but it's no better than what the Cavs are doing. They still lose to the Warriors in 4. They still go to the playoffs and lose.
They don't get out the second round.
Right, because they play the Warriors and they get drugged through the second round by the Warriors.
Somebody leave the Lakers situation alone with LeBron James. Just saying. And when I'm right, you're right. I hope everybody remembers that. Because I damn sure will. He's not going to be a Laker.
I don't think he's going to be a Laker either. I don't. WWE,
What about it?
Money in the Bank.
Yep.
Started off slow, started off bad,
Start off, man.
got pretty good for one match, got slow, and then got really good. So the women's ladder match was great. The women's Money in the Bank.
Alexa Bliss got that W.
It was back and forth. It was entertaining.
Well, this is now the third one technically in a year, but for the third one, for a relatively new match for the women, it was actually pretty decent. And
Yeah.
I always say, especially gimmick matches for women, historically, it's just a clusterfuck.
Right.
It's just because they don't know what to do. Like
Right.
it's just what it is.
But they were pretty good.
That was actually really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Really good. Solid. Alexa Bliss got it. She didn't need it.
No.
She definitely doesn't need it because she's always in the top 2.
The next match was Roman Reigns. Neither of us paid attention to that.
No, that was before that match, but yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
What was the match after the women's?
I don't know. I don't know the exact order.
Either way. And then the Nakamura match was good.
Nakamura versus Styles, yep. That was great, actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed
it. wasn't
it.
good. It was
I enjoyed
great.
it.
I actually saw a reaction the next day. A lot of people were saying it was better than their New Japan match. I'm not there. No,
I thought it was
no.
better than Mania.
No, easily. And it was better than their match last month because of the result. It was excellent. It's easily, by far, their number one in the company. Over the New Japan match? Hell no. It's not even close. But it was excellent. They beat the hell out of each other. They got a lot of time, a generous amount of time. Beat the shit out of each other, which is what they should have done back in March or April, whenever the hell Mania was. They finally got their due at throwaway pay-per-view, no less, in June. Good for them. It was great. Loved it. Nakamura still got the loss, which is weird and doesn't make any sense to me because eventually this man has to win. You can't keep throwing him in a title match and have him keep losing because eventually it's just like, why are you even here? You're going to lose.
Yeah.
So I thought he should have won it. I thought he should have won last month when they faced, but
They're
the way that it's going,
fight a couple more times.
It's clearly at least going to SummerSlam, which, I mean, to keep having this shit drag out is kind of ridiculous, but the fact that they keep putting on better and better matches, I kind of also can't be mad
Might
at
as
it.
well let it go, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Great match.
The next one was
This man's trying so hard
The
to go in
title
order
match?
like he remembers. I don't know what was the order, but that was...
the title match. Who fought in the title match?
What title match?
When they're... No?
What are you
they're
saying?
a
You
men's
said the title match. That was the men's title match, bro.
Okay. Oh, really? AJ Styles had the title? I don't know. And then it was the women's title after that. It was the Ronda Rousey one, yeah. She fought The Rock's cousin.
Whose man's is this? This man. Look, I don't know the damn order. Okay, so it was the world title match. It was Nakamura versus Styles. Styles is the champion. He beat Nakamura, okay? At some point thereafter, it was the women's title match.
Yep.
Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax.
Yep.
Again, surprisingly great.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. And
Rousey has done excellent.
she came out second.
Yeah, whatever. Because Vince thinks she's a bigger star. That's Vince's logic.
Right.
Which is bullshit, but that's how he always looks at it. It's come out in recent years the same reason why Undertaker always comes out last, because he feels even that the presence and like fans care more about that character than they do the title. Which again, it's bullshit, but that's his thinking, and he's not wrong because people lost their shit for Ronda Rousey. Again, they
did,
and she's been holding her own.
And the match itself, actually, yeah, she fought, I thought, particularly well compared to when the last time we saw her.
Which was an attack. This was all on her.
Yep.
She did, again, excellent. She's been doing house shows, all in tag matches, so this is her first true singles match, and it was very, very good. She's holding her own, and the fans are 1,000% behind her.
Yeah.
They can't chant her name any louder than they already do. So good for her. It was good.
And
She didn't win.
she got thrown around.
Yeah, got the shit beat out of her, legitimately.
She also held her own, as you said, though, like doing the other side. She was doing some pretty good ass whooping as well. She actually won by
Looks legitimate out
disqualification.
there. Looks legitimate out there for real.
She won by disqualification.
Technically.
Because she got hit in the head over with the briefcase from Alexa Bliss first.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexa Bliss cashed in her Money in the Bank.
That night and won.
Won.
Shocking. Shocking.
Pretty good storyline by the WWE.
First time that's ever happened the same night. Excellent. Nobody saw that coming. I damn sure didn't see that coming.
It was incredible.
I popped for it. It was excellent. Good call. It was smart booking.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Ronda keeps. She doesn't take her out.
Gives her another rival.
Right. The champion got cheated, and you can continue that even if you want to.
That's
Alexa Bliss, who's this heel and who's a little bitch and gets away with shit. Like it continue like that whole presentation of that whole layout of that
both
match
champions
is genius.
Because the other women's champion's annoying too, right? What's her name? Camila.
This man, Carmella.
I don't know.
I don't even know why this man talks wrestling. He can't
Mella.
even pronounce these men's names.
Mella.
Or these females' names. Anyway, so yeah, Ronda looked excellent.
And then the men's Money in the Bank.
He's gonna stop pretending like he knows the exact order.
Well, that was the main event either way.
Over the world title match, which again is bullshit. Men's world title match should be number one, the main event, but it wasn't. It was men's Money in the Bank. Braun Strowman won.
I thought it was good.
Again, he didn't need it. Yeah, it was alright. Again, he didn't need it.
He was on the ladder for a long time, got out on the ladders and just did what Braun Strowman does, throws everybody around. I agree, though. Neither of the ones who won it needed it, because I knew both their names going into it. And I picked him, and if I'm picking you to win, that's probably not good.
Like I told you last night, like I told some other dude that we work with, I think it's ridiculous that Braun Strowman was in the match because...
He's already in title shots, right?
Yeah, he should already be a champion. He should be the one that's already beaten Brock Lesnar. He should have faced Brock over Roman this year at WrestleMania and won. He should be champion right now. But he's not. Instead, they give him a briefcase. When you're fucking 8 feet tall, whatever he is, and a big-ass bastard, and the fans are actually behind you, which doesn't happen anymore, you don't need to have a stupid-ass briefcase to get over. He's over. He's been over. He's huge over. Him and Alexa both are big-time over with the fans.
He's gonna fight Brock now at any moment.
He doesn't need that. It's pretty shitty booking to me, in my opinion. He doesn't, like, you give that to somebody that needs it, that needs that boost. He, on his own, is over and can go after Brock any damn time. Why? Because he's a big-ass bastard.
Yeah, I agree.
And the fans love him. And
he could be the number one contender already.
Tomorrow. He's been number one contender, so why does he doesn't need a briefcase. So to me, it's a wasted opportunity. But when you're looking at who else was in the match, it was a whole lot. It was a whole lot of
Yeah, I agree.
That didn't make sense.
Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens.
Maybe you give it to Samoa Joe.
Maybe
Kevin Owens.
I understand though.
Because they could be dicks about it.
Who won it last year?
I don't remember.
He was in the match. I forget.
I really don't remember. But there's other names that
The Miz
you could
was
run
in
with.
it, but he was very Jericho. He was never going to win it.
Yeah, so overall, show was great.
Yeah, I agree. Thought they put on a really good show.
For a throwaway, and I haven't been paying attention for the past month and a half. This man's yawning. This man can't do a show at 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
Dwight.
He's so tired.
I'm always tired. Dwight.
Uh-huh.
You wanted to go in on UFC?
No, just briefly say fuck Dana White because he signed Greg Hardy to a contract.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Why? Well, why does he have a contract? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. He got a victory. Why is this man in the UFC?
Why is he fighting? I don't.
He did better than CM Punk.
Triple G Canelo's back on.
Good. Glorious.
September 6th, I think.
So we're watching it somewhere?
Yeah, for sure.
As long as somebody doesn't fail a drug test.
Gotta eat the right substance. Don't eat the wrong steaks.
I'm just saying. I'm in on that, though. That's fantastic. Good. Boxing needs that. Dwight needs that. It's the match that we need.
About 4 weeks ago, I read an article that Barry Trotz, the head coach of the Washington Capitals, was basically not going to get re-signed. His contract ended at the end of the year, and it was kind of understood that, all right, well, they're going to ride out this playoffs, and then after this playoffs, he's most likely gone.
Mm-hmm.
They were down 2-1 in that series. They were down 3-2 in a different series. So it made sense, because they never made it to the cup under his tutelage, that they wouldn't re-sign him.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey, you go through coaches fast. Well, he won the Stanley Cup, and there's an automatic clause in every head coach's contract that there's a 2-year extension on your contract if you win the Stanley Cup. Every head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he got a 2-year extension. His contract ended the day the Stanley Cup ended, but his extension kicked in at midnight that night. He got a $1.5 million bonus. The Capitals had to do all this, blah, 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 blah. The Capitals approached him to try to negotiate that bonus lower and the salary lower. He did not want to do that. So they bought him out.
No shitty. Go get your money. No shitty.
They bought him out, which is basically a really big lump sum that was the guaranteed portion, I assume. And the Stanley Cup champions, as of today, don't have a head coach.
Yep, that's funny.
And
He did what he was supposed to do, though, so I'm not even mad.
I agree.
Go make your money.
The whole entire... Bruce Boudreau is the coach we're talking about, by the way. Barry Trotz, sorry. Bruce Boudreau is the old coach. Barry Trotz is the coach we're talking about. I don't understand the Capitals not... This man was a Capitals legend back in the day.
Now they're being cheap. Now you're letting your Stanley Cup champion walk away because you don't want to pay the man.
They hired him because they were tired of the coaches before him not being super successful. They wanted a different face, a different voice in there. He was loved by the fans. He gets in there. He wins a Stanley Cup.
And you said we're good. Cool. Sounds like a Washington team. In all honesty. Stupid. It's horrible.
So
That's very entitled. I'm glad Washington's out there every year in the Stanley Cup and winning Stanley Cups without him. Good for them.
never did it before.
That's what's up. Good for them.
So the Flyers want to get rid of Hackstall, not Hextall, Hackstall. Barry Trotz is available, and I wouldn't be mad. That's it on hockey at the moment. One last thing, another sport you don't watch, Dwight, golf. The U.S. Open happened this weekend. Once a year, the U.S. Open is it's supposed to be set up at the hardest courses in America, and it's basically supposed to make these guys look like the everyday golfer. Tiger Woods had a 4 over on his first hole.
This man would mention the U.S. Open in the first name out of his mouth. It's the worst player he can name. Got it.
Dustin Johnson got absolutely robbed on Saturday night. He was winning the tournament by 4. He played the afternoon on Thursday, played the morning on Friday. He had great numbers. Now that happens because if you play the morning on Thursday, then you play the afternoon on Friday. It's basically so everyone can see you. Anyways, because everyone plays the first 2 days. The second 2 days, you play, if you are the leaders, you play as the last group if you're the leaders. It goes from the people who made the cut to the closest to the cut to the people who are winning. That's how this goes. All right? Saturday, everything was torn up. The course was torn up. The greens were torn up. The putting was horrendous. It was already a really hard course to do in the first place. And the man who was leading by 4 strokes, which, by the way, he was a -4 and everyone else was even, which is you never see that after 2 days in a tournament. He ended up being 4 over on that day, and he was in second place going into Sunday. It was just horrendous, and that's the PGA Tour's fault. The middle of the round...
It's not okay.
It's not, and I'll get into that in a second. The middle of the round, Phil Mickelson made a move to try to just kind of give 2 middle fingers to the PGA, and I loved it until I heard the post-round interview. But basically, he putted a ball, and it holed out, and it was just, it was ridiculous. And, like, you could just tell he was just like, what can I do? I mean, like, how am I supposed to, what? And literally, as the ball was rolling back to the spot it was supposed to be, he just came up with his putter, and he hit it as it was still rolling, which is, like, the biggest no-no in golf. And you know how, rich people of a certain color act when you mess up their games like baseball. So Phil Mickelson got absolutely crushed as a disgrace, and he's this and he's that. But It was to prove to the PGA Tour, and look, he actually afterwards,
really matters.
he literally was just like, no, I was just frustrated, I wasn't, and I really would have I wish he would have just been like, no, that was literally me just telling the tour officials, like, don't ever do this again. I mean, honestly, like, I wish he would have said that. It would have probably backed up this a little more, because now he kind of looks like a coward for how he handled it, because he handled it great on the course, it was off the course that I didn't like. Anyways, and I mean, later in the day was proven by what Dustin Johnson did. Tommy Fleetwood had the best round ever at that course, and it was the best round on a U.S. Open. He came in second on Sunday, but he had a minus, I think it was 11, and nobody else had more than a -4. So I don't understand how he played so well that day. But he came in second to Kuchar. It was fun to see them be humbled, but it's also, I watch golf because I'm not good. So when I play, I already see me doing that. You know, I want to see them have the opportunity. And you just said about how it wasn't fair. It's not fair because Dustin Johnson, look, the PGA Tour knows every single tournament is the evening on Saturday, the evening on Sunday is when the top players, the players who are in contention to win, that's when they are playing. So if you made a course that is just going to get absolutely destroyed and you can't really repair, like the Masters, the last 4 groups, it still looks as prestigious as the first 4 groups. Yeah, all right, are you going to see some divots? Yeah, are you going to see some things? For sure. But it's playable. That was kind of unplayable. In the golf course, the greens were so fast that they were chipping it from about 150 away. And from 150 away, most of these guys are talented enough to put it within 20 feet of the cup. They were landing it within 20 feet of the cup, but the ball was shooting right, left, up, down, and it was flying right off the green. Like, it was just kind of like luck of the draw. If you hit it here, maybe it will stick. If you hit it there, it won't. And it was just wasn't... It wasn't golf, at least golf that we're used to watching. It wasn't even golf that I play, Because if I hit it up and it lands like that, the disappointment I would have that my ball didn't land and go where it should go in that position after I hit such a great shot. I can only imagine these guys who do this for a living, with millions of dollars riding on the line. So hopefully the PGA Tour works with them a little bit next year. I'm not looking for -12 or -13 scores here, but I also don't want to see +2 as the winning score. I don't. It's kind of weird. Scratch golf is like what my uncle can do on a normal course, and that's these guys got under par. So I mean over par. So that's
this is a big match I'm supposed to watch.
It's frustrating. Right? Yeah, and it's one of it's literally the second biggest one in America, but it's one of the top 4 major events in golf every year, and it's out of the top 5, I would rank it as a top 3 for sure. So for it to come out, and this isn't just a this year problem. 2 years ago they had a huge issue with this.
So they're not going to learn.
Nah, probably not, because it's once a year and enough people get upset. I don't think people should be as upset with Phil Mickelson, by the way. I want to really I was upset how he handled it afterwards, and as I agree with you, we call him a punk and all that because he was a coward about how he handled it afterwards. But for people to call him a disgrace, I mean, some people are saying you should take his tour card, and well, look, he is one of the best golfers of the last 20 years. He did something because he has he has the clout to be able to do that and still play next weekend. You know what I mean? Like, he did that knowing they weren't going to cut him from the tour. And he did that so that the other players who were playing behind him, the younger players, the younger generation that was in contention, so that they didn't have to make a point. They could just play their game and try to win this tournament. He was out of the tournament, but he still wanted the PGA Tour to know, hey, this is not fair to any of us.
But then he didn't because he
backpedaled. I agree, but we shouldn't just...
He didn't mean that.
Okay, all right, and that's fine, but I don't think it's anything we should take his card or his tour card away, or he's not a disgrace for doing. He did something that...
He's a disgrace for backpedaling, I'll tell you that.
Well, okay, that's fine, and that's okay, but...
Because he got scared of the backlash.
He did. He got very scared of the backlash, yes, because he didn't want the purists to hate him. Even though he already did something that the purists hate him for.
Weak.
JD Sports, big changes coming soon.
We keep saying that every week, bro. They know.
It's counting down, though. It's coming close. Thanks for watching. I'm Jared Hood. It's coming quick.
New world order.